Hello, Don in London. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance and behaviour, and I was out yesterday, August 4th, and it's now August 5th, so I'm combining two of my daily videos together so I don't miss the readings from either myself or, no, I'll put it the other way around. I won't miss the big book, not the big book readings. I'm going to start again. No, why should I? I'm in a bit of a turmoil. I've been trying to incorporate two videos into one for the 4th of August and one for the 5th of August, all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. So, a bit of a confusion in my own head about what I'm here to do. I am an alcoholic in recovery and have been for some time now, living life one day at a time, which means I try to live in the current moment, today. And if I live in today and I can see what's going on, I understand my situation, I have less of a problem keeping sober. But I do know I am in a one-day program of sobriety today. So I was away yesterday seeing family, and it was good to travel and see them and be content and happy to be me. Open, honest and willing to change my attitude and behaviour about life as life presents, so that my feelings fit the current experience I'm having. So rather than have an expectation of everything working out perfectly, I don't, and it didn't. It was a very wet and unpleasant travelling day yesterday, and my journey involved buses, tubes, railway, taxis, more buses maybe, tubes, railway and taxis. So it was quite a long day getting to and from where parts of my family live. And the good news was, I decided even if I missed the train I booked, I could still get there and then have my return journey just as it may be, as planned. And maybe none of the plans worked out quite as I expected, but I did get there. I did have lunch and quite a fair amount of time with members of my family, and it all worked out. And why is that? Well, simply I rolled my expectations to zero. That is, set my level of expectation at zero and see how the day would fall out or how it would happen. And it was a surprise, and it was good, and it was absolutely wonderful to be in the company of family. And in the past it had been quite different, where family were wary of me and my drinking, and I was desperately trying to pretend to be okay, without succeeding, because if you're trying to be okay, it's putting on an act. And what I've realised these days is if I put on an act, I'm trying to live up to something which is not true. So I prefer to live up to the truth of who I am. And that's a big turnaround. So I'm an alcoholic in recovery. My substance, alcohol, my behaviour could be equally addictive around people, places and things. Being in the right with the right people, in the right place, with the right things and doing the right things. So these days it's quite different. It's not about putting on a show. It's not about putting on a brave face, a stiff upper lip, or whatever it might be. I've learned it's better to just be me and be human. And know it's okay to keep on learning life. So what's helped me do this? Well, I didn't do it on my own. I needed a few moments of clarity along the way about I cannot keep drinking, it's killing me. This is self-harm. Why do I keep on doing it? And why don't I ever want to wake up again? And then turning through to it's okay to wake up and I'm still alive. Well, family, friends, community, we're all aware, medical people, professional people, were trying their best to give me the answers to my problem. And to an extent they did. But I needed to reinforce it. And the only way I've found which reinforces sobriety on a daily basis, for me, and not for everyone, is the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Now I never speak for AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, don't want to, cannot. It's full of unique, authentic people like me, just living one day at a time. And we do it in a unique, authentic way. We are on our own personal journey through life. So where we are is where we are. And everybody's life experience is different, diverse, and the fellowship is full of different and diverse people with one similarity which bonds them together: a desire to get sober and stay sober and help others as well. So I share a lot about AA, even though I don't represent it, and of course I never will. It's one of those fellowships where everyone has an equal say, has an equal voice, and it's the many voices in recovery which keep me sober. So I go to AA meetings when I can, hopefully most days, because I get to experience strength and hope, and I make friends. Some people I like, some people I don't like. It's just like life. Anyway, I'm going to share the AA preamble from this little card here, all about recovery, and then something of the daily reflections for the 4th and 5th of August from this book, and some of my own thoughts and feelings of how it's going, just for yesterday and today. So what is AA? This is the AA preamble shared at the beginning of every meeting, and it reads like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I feel very fortunate. I do feel very fortunate, because how is it that several years ago I was on the scrap heap, I couldn't function, and now I'm not on a scrap heap, well, not my own scrap heap anyway, might be on other people's scrap heap as unemployable in some respects, but I find whatever we find is our own career. It would be it ever so humble, or just be it humble, it's still our stuff. And I love photography, and I love sharing about recovery, and I do an awful lot of stuff. In fact, there isn't enough room in every day to do everything I would like to do, and everything I would like to do is also impacted by the limitations I have, which are down to age and chronic conditions, which I deal with on a daily basis. But I'm still in the game. That's all that matters. I'm still in the game. But it's not a game, it's real life, really. Real life. Life on life's terms. And it can be fun, it can be sad, it can be happy, joyous, horrible. Every adjective which describes the feeling we have is appropriate if it fits what's going on. So yesterday morning, torrents of rain, no buses to speak of. I found one. It went nearly to the place I wanted it to. I then found my tube, my underground train was not going where it was supposed to go. I had to get out and get a bus. I went to another tube station, same problem. Out, trying to get a bus, got a taxi, then got a mainline train to a different part of the country. And I wasn't fazed. It all sort of worked out quite well, because all the delays at my end were compounded by my late train, which then got me only 20 minutes late to where I was trying to get to. Providence, I call that. I don't call it divine intervention. It was just luck. Simple luck. And sometimes it works, but I'd already reconciled I'd be an hour late and get another train. And that's what we do. We find out what works and keep on working with it. So, where am I today? With the AA Daily Reflections. I'll just do yesterday's, and then I can share about how maybe it worked or it didn't work, and then today's. And the AA Daily Reflection for yesterday was Seeds of Faith. Faith, to be sure, is necessary, but faith alone can avail nothing. We can have faith, yet keep God, good conscience, which I feel is truth, love and wisdom, out of our lives. So if we're trying to run the whole show, like me yesterday, it wasn't going my way, so I said, okay, it's okay. As a child, I constantly questioned the existence of God. To a scientific thinker like me, no answer could withstand a thorough dissection until a very patient woman finally said to me, "You must have faith," With that simple statement, the seeds of my recovery were sown, and for me, just to have faith in listening to other people and why they were sober, rather than thinking they must be lying. I had to have that faith that whatever they were doing, it was working. Today, as I practice my recovery, cutting back the weeds of alcoholism, slowly I'm letting those early seeds of faith to grow and bloom. Each day of recovery, of ardent gardening, brings the higher power of my understanding more fully into my life. My God, and I put in brackets personal understanding. For example, my understanding is God is truth, love, and works through people. Has always been with me through faith, but it is my responsibility to have the willingness to accept His presence. I ask God, truth, love, and wisdom, to work to the greater good of, and not my self-interest, to grant me the willingness to do His will, the common good, and not just mine. So I've added and amended it to suit my understanding of God. God works through people, God is truth, God is love. So wisdom comes from listening to the experience of others, all good, makes life work for me. Love, how to love people, I'm learning that all over again, how to be loved back, and finding the truth, which is not my opinion or belief, it's actually finding the truth of now. So truth, love and wisdom I serve truth, love and wisdom in order to live my life well, open, honest and willing to change. And many people have their own understanding of God, depending on their faith, their religion, their spirituality. And when it comes to spirituality, I do believe that spiritual is the ability to cope with now. So if anything or nothing, God is now. Truth, love, wisdom, in the moment of now. So as you come to understand for yourself is the most important part of this lesson, and the most important part of this lesson is we're not God. So sometimes when we feel that we have found the truth because it suits us, it is in fact belief and opinion. And I've learned that over and over again. Even before I got to recovery, I knew that, but I didn't know how to get sober. So a couple of my thoughts from other years. Neither saint nor prophet, said M. Scott Peck, the man who wrote the book The Road Less Travelled. No pedestals in recovery. Newcomers bring wisdom of life. Old-timers bring wisdom of life. Medium-timers bring wisdom of life. We are all learning the wisdom of recovery, all equal to living life a day at a time. A higher power ? A collective wisdom in the fellowship just for today, and what I've learned over the years outside the fellowship as well. So listening to the bus driver, the tube station attendant, the bus driver. Did I say that already? Yeah, we probably did. Oh, and another taxi driver as well. And then the train manager, about why I didn't need to get a ticket but could get on the train with an email with my details, or I'd have missed it. And it all happens in small ways and big ways. Sometimes we have a big revelation, and then sometimes we have a small revelation. I'm having trouble with my words this morning. And another thing to do with seeds of faith, our personal faith in the next right actions. In recovery, we put sober first, so our lives work today. With clarity, we feel life as it is. We think about what to do. We live to the good of good conscience. And if that's connected to God, which I suspect it is, listening to the good conscience of other people, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, we get so much more. But the bigger picture, the nature of the universe and providence, what is possible in the moment of now. So, about step 5. The AA Daily Reflection for August the 5th. Sorry, I said step 5, it's step 8. Making a list of amends and being willing to make them. So for August 5th, listening deeply. How persistently we claim the right to decide all by ourselves, just what we shall think and just how we shall act. In other words, self-will. If I accept and act upon the advice of those who have made the program work for themselves, I have a chance to outgrow the limits of the past, that is, the limits of my experience. Some problems will shrink to nothingness, while others may require patient, well thought out action. Listening deeply when others share can develop intuition in handling problems which arise unexpectedly. It is usually best for me to avoid impetus to action. Attending a meeting or calling a fellow AA member will usually reduce tension enough to bring relief to a desperate sufferer like me. Sharing problems at meetings with other alcoholics to whom I relate, or privately with my sponsor, can change aspects of the positions in which I find myself. Character defects are identified, and I begin to see how they work against me. When I put my faith in the spiritual power of the program, when I must trust others to teach me what I need to do to have a better life, I find that I can trust myself to do what is necessary. In other words, I don't have all the answers, and many times people have the answer when I don't. It was always so, but there was always something in me which said my way or the highway, rather than not my way, thy way, the bigger picture, whatever it happens to be. And again, it's as you come to understand a God in your life. It's not your personal God, it's the one which works for everyone. So it's truth, love and wisdom. Truth of the universe as it is today, what we know, what we don't know. Love, to love, be loved, and the wisdom which comes from others, or from any source, not necessarily in AA. We open up and can listen again. So for August 5th from previous years, always already listening. That inner voice in my head, here we go again. I know what you're going to say, nagging doubts, you always say that, same old, same old. It will always be the same old, if that is what we look for. We can change and influence what we listen to inside and outside as we make choices today. So the always listening voice in our heads is looking for reinforcement of the old thinking often when we're not feeling very happy with life, or even when we're feeling happy. Can I go back and have another drink? Answer, no, not safely. And another one from the previous year, can I hear what you say to me? Feedback is often thought to be a gentle art. We are our hardest critics or our most ardent admirers. That's what we think about ourselves. Somewhere in between is balance and truth. Listening to feedback from others, we find out more of who we are because they see us. Listening is a skill we develop when we know we need to, certainly today and every day. So the more I listen to family, friends, inside and outside fellowship, people who just have a bit of wisdom which I hear as I walk by. Listen, I do, and I think, oh, well, that's quite interesting. It's different to what I have thought myself or felt myself. That sounded a bit rude. Anyway, step 8. This morning I was thinking, step 8, making the list of amends and being willing to make them. Over the years I have learned my part in living, that is, my part in events over the years. More than ever, it is my responsibility to live well to the principles of the 12 steps, and the principles of the 12 steps help me. My daily amends to self, put sober first, be open, honest and willing to change, so I may find truth, love and wisdom today, and with hope every day which follows. Yeah, that's true, I can have hope for tomorrow, but I don't live there. I live in today, so I've got to put the spade work in today. Not digging holes, but just cultivating and generally doing a bit of gardening, I guess, in the old brain box. And the comment I made to myself, or was thinking and feeling this morning, I was out travelling yesterday to see family. Being there and being a part of life and family is one of the amends which keeps on developing stronger and more deep understanding of life today. To be a being, included and a part of, to be welcomed rather than feared, to be sober offers enlightened and hope just for today. Sober today is one day where emotional and spiritual well-being may flourish or die. Tomorrow is always another day in sobriety, because if it doesn't work out today, there is always tomorrow. So 2 days in one today, and a bit speedy. I've been trying to sort out my electronic communications as well. It's not been very easy. That's the problem sometimes when we don't do enough planning today for tomorrow. And my electronic communications let me down a little bit because I didn't realise that certain things work out there in the big wide world and certain things don't. I'm learning. I'm just learning every day just to be me. Put enough planning in when you go travelling. Put enough planning in for rain, unexpected, missing trains, tubes, whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? A new start, a new day, onward we go. If I put sober first, I've got a chance of being able to listen to the world, improve my experience, strength and hope, and the wisdom I get from other people, and put it into practice. All about action, they say in the fellowship. We say in the fellowship. Well, I say, because I can't speak for them. You. I don't want to speak for you. I want you to speak for you, wherever you choose and wherever you feel best able. That's the wonderful thing about sobriety. There is a desire to stop drinking, and there are no rules, laws or regulations which curtail our behaviour and our attitude, except conscience, what's in the best interests of what's going on, and not self-interest or all that stuff. Life on life's terms. I'm happy. I'm quite tired out. I'm not good with travelling these days, but that's okay. Maybe I'll learn a way round this, how to pace it better. But anyway, life goes on. At the end of my videos I will share the Serenity Prayer, which keeps me on track in any moment, like yesterday when I found myself in difficult places, in the wrong place at the wrong time, rather than the right place in the right time with the right train. But I was with the right people in the end. The Serenity Prayer. To God, all good conscience, as you come to understand for yourself, it's your understanding which counts, and the fact that we're not God. We're just equal and responsive, and hopefully able to make sense of what is happening around us without self-harm or harming others. All about step 8 in that. So to God, or in good conscience, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference keeps me in a place of serenity in the moment and just for today. Serenity is not guaranteed, but it will come back, hopefully, as we work our program.